Ladies and gents, welcome back to some more Off the Track, the Monster Truck podcast that you know and love. We are now 2 weeks into February, and the Monster Truck action across the country and across the world is continuing to heat up. I'm Nafajan, leading the pack once again, and tonight I am joined once again by Door Z.
Yes, sir. It's time for another week of the podcast.
Door, we had a truck jam on a Monday. What's that all about?
Man, what a packed show. No one was there.
It was incredible numbers in attendance. During a work day, that is quite an interesting choice. I know it was President's Day, but hey, kudos to Monster Jam for trying something different, right? But we'll talk about that later on in the show. First, we got to dive into what's going on in the sports world, shall we? And right now, the Winter Olympic Games at Milan Cortina is entering its final week in the 2026 Winter Olympics. Let's take a look at the medal counter right now. So, total medals. Your leader right now is Norway with 28 medals, 12 of which are gold. Second most is Italy, the home nation, with 23 overall and 8 gold. And how about this? The red, white, and blue United States right now in third, 19 medals, 6 gold. Also followed by Netherlands and Austria, who have 6 gold and 5 gold respectively. So that's your top 5 in Olympics right now, the Winter Olympics. Door Z, you think the United States has what it takes to pull back in front, or do you think Norway or Italy is going to run away with it?
I haven't watched anything with the Winter Olympics at all, so I have no idea what's going on. All I saw was really the only thing I've seen was the women's USA hockey team was doing really well. But besides that, I haven't really paid attention to it. I hope the USA catches up, but if they don't, then they don't.
Yeah, I've been catching a lot of good Winter Olympic action. You know, some of my personal favorites, of course, is the hockey one, like I previously mentioned on this show. And then you also have some of the more intense ones like downhill skiing, ski jumping, speed skating, people riding on sleds, going in such confined spaces on sledding and luge tracks. And that is absolutely incredible how the human body can maintain all of that pressure. So, nearing down the final week of the Winter Olympics, before 4 years later, they will be heading to the French Alps in 2030. So, France will be the home nation for the next Winter Olympics. And how about this, Dorzy? 2034, the Winter Olympics coming to Salt Lake City, Utah. Isn't that exciting?
No. Anyways, man, it seems like Salt Lake City, Utah's getting everything. Back-to-back from Austrian World Finals and getting the Olympics in 2034. I'll be dead by then. But besides that, yeah, I'm kidding.
Gotta love the Utah Sports Commission and gotta love the Winter Olympics. They'll be back in the U.S. sometime soon. But right now, wrapping up on Milan Cortina. So, some great Olympic action yet to come. Now we're going to switch it over to the basketball. That is right, because the NBA recently had their All-Star game, or should I just say their All-Star weekend, because this year they went under a completely new format, as I previously mentioned. 3 teams for this year, 2 teams based in the USA, Stars and Stripes, and you also had the international team called Team World. Those are your international players that are currently playing in the NBA, such as your Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic and so on. So how did this play out? Let's take a look. So the format, you had 4 games in total on February 15th. You had your first 3 round-robin games, which every team would play each other once. So it first started off with Team USA versus Team Stars versus Team World. And just think of it as one whole game in NBA, each quarter is 12 minutes, but 12 minutes was the whole entire game for each of these teams. So your first game, the Stars win in overtime, however that works, 37 to 35 over Team World. And then the Stars would play against the Stripes. They would lose. The Stripes would get the win 42 to 40. And then your last round robin game, Team World versus Team Stripes, Stripes would get the win 48 to 45. So a rematch between Stars and Stripes for the championship game, and it would be Stars getting the win in quite convincing fashion, 47 to 21. Your final score. USA Stars wins the new edition of the NBA All-Star Weekend. So I don't know if you've caught some of this, Door, but what are your thoughts on how this new All-Star format played out?
I think the format went okay. Things that I saw on Instagram, I didn't watch any of the game in person because I was out all day. But yeah, no, that finals was a complete blowout.
Yeah, it was just overall, I really like this idea. I think it's an incredible opportunity to get a lot more players involved in All Star Weekend, especially the international players. So adding another team to this kind of format and still sticking to the traditional play of basketball, I think this really did benefit NBA All Star Weekend because you take a look at what other leagues are doing with their All Star Weekend and so on, like the Pro Bowl. The NFL Pro Bowl is an absolute joke now, and just because all they've done with safety rules and precautions is just a flag football and a skills fest. But right here, NBA, I really like this idea. I really like how this new format played out. Still sticking with basketball. And hey, hopefully next year they'll run this new idea. Maybe change it up a bit, but I really like how the format played out its first year. So that was the NBA All-Star Game. Now we're getting into cars turning left because it is NASCAR season once again. And it is the Daytona 500. The chase for the Cup begins here at Daytona 500, Daytona International Speedway. Oh boy, Dorsey, what a race this was. It was filled with drama all the way until the final lap when the one and only Tyler Reddick and the number 45 gets the win in the Cup Series, the Daytona 500. He gets the first win on the season. So, Dor, your reaction to this year's Daytona 500?
Man, oh man, I think first of all, I gotta shout out NASCAR because on lap 3, they kind of did a little celebration of life to Dale Earnhardt because 25 years ago in this race is when he passed away, unfortunately. So it was cool seeing a little memorial for him during lap number 3 because, of course, that was the car number he drove. Man, what a Daytona 500. Like what you said, up to the very end, you didn't even know who was going to win. I'll show a little bit of highlights at the end. Well, not show, but I'll tell them. So Michael McDowell comes out and was the only car that didn't pit when caution came out. So he was looking at a real good move, what he did. It's kind of crazy how it kind of lucked out for him during that. But man, everyone was fighting hard until the very end. I don't remember who started the crash. I think it was Riley Herbst. Unfortunately, Carson Hocevar and Michael McDowell were out in front with Spire, and unfortunately, the big one happened when white flag was coming out. And shout out to NASCAR, they didn't just call the race early. They actually let them finish till the very end. So I hope that's a sign for things to come in the future. Because Chase Elliott managed to sneak ahead. Zane Smith right behind him. But man, it didn't happen like that because Tyler Reddick comes out of nowhere. I can't think of what he did. I think he went on the high side, and Chase Elliott tried to block, and then carnage happened behind him with another crash. And Tyler Reddick, like what you said, gets his first Daytona 500 win in a crazy ending. A bunch of crashes at the end, no flags thrown, thank God, because I'm glad they let all the drivers finish. And Ryan Preece finished the race going backwards. So yeah, that if that's not something to say about how this Daytona 500 went down, oh man, it went down at the very end.
Yeah, it was cinematic to say the least, and I think that the TV announcer said it best, or he actually made the point that Tyler Reddick did not lead a single lap in that race until the final lap of the race. So that is just mind blowing. How you don't have to lead every lap in the race in NASCAR. You just have to stay consistently near the front. You know, it's kind of like your Monster Jam and how the overall event championships work. You don't have to win every competition, but as long as you're staying consistent in the points, you might come out on top. So, same situation kind of here with Tyler Reddick. Congrats to him. If this was the former championship format, this win would have already gotten him into the playoffs. But not the case this year. A win doesn't guarantee you a spot in the postseason, so great start for him, but now he's going to have to start building on those points for him to be in the chase for the Cup later this year. So, incredible recap from NASCAR Daytona 500. Should be an incredible season, if you say so myself. But now, we're going to switch over to the truck jams that we have had this past weekend, this past Valentine's Day weekend, and a lot of tours in action. We're going to get into some of the events that we got to watch this weekend. Starting off with Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live, Glow and Fire, 3 tours in action this weekend. 2 in the United States, Peoria, Illinois, at the Peoria Civic Center, and Trenton, New Jersey, at the Cure Insurance Arena. They were also in Oberhausen, Germany, at the Rudolf Weber Arena. So, very busy weekend for Hot Wheels. I will be seeing a Hot Wheels show later this weekend. We'll get to that later on in the show. But now going on to some of the other events we got to see. The Monster X Tour. 2 events this weekend. One in Indio, California at the Riverside County Fair with Boss Skater Brian Leach, Carolina Crusher Rob Poutre, Hillbilly Tim Manchester, Monster Patrol with 2 different drivers, Jared Compton and Riley Hogue, as well as Werewolf with Stanley Hernandez. You also had Monster X Tour in Fayetteville, North Carolina at the Crown Complex with Barefoot, Byron Cadigan, Illuminator, Dan Donnelly, Rampage, Justin Stork, Toxic, Corey Snyder, and a Wild Thing with Paul Craighead. Moving on, you also had Monster Trucks Maniac at McAlester, Oklahoma, at the Southeast Expo Center. You have the Monster Truck Destruction Truck, Crazy Heifer with Lexi Overman, Fire Hazard, Sean Roth, Larry Quick's Ghost Rider with Johnny Davenport, Girl Power, Jordan Francis, and King Crunch with Dylan Fenley. Monster Truck Wars, yes, a few events for them this weekend. Levelland, Texas at the Mallet Event Center with Locomotive, Justin Murphy, Outlaw, Adam Wilson, Shark Attack, Jerry Ferrader, and T-Rex, Devin Jones. They were also in action in Glen Rose, Texas at the SE Agricultural Center. Same 4 trucks, but different drivers. Locomotive, Rylan Hawkins, Outlaw, Brandon Pizzo, Shark Attack, Kaylee Engstrom, and T-Rex Colton Fowler. The 2X Live Tour was at Tehachapi, California at the Tehachapi Event Center with Bounty Hunter, Jimmy Cretin, Brutal, Jeremiah Paras, Jekyll and Hyde, Corey Kinel, Roran Rex, Mike Nugent, and the Shark Bite with Dan the Man Dahlgren. The Toughest Monster Truck Tour, yes sir, we love Dan the Man. I still need to see him though. It's been a few years. I gotta see him back in action soon. But this is Toughest Monster Truck Tour with Casper, Wyoming. They were back in action this week. Blockhead, Darren Basil, Dirt Crew, Jerry Beck, Dozer with David Olfert, Too Tall David Olfert, Jurassic Attack, Preston Collins, Maximus, Jared Smith, and Velociraptor, Preston Perez. Now, Dorzy, the big question, is points available yet for Casper, Wyoming, or just Toughest Tour, or nah?
Nope.
Nope.
Still haven't seen anything about Toughest.
Oh, geez. Will they ever learn to put out points? I mean, the All Star Monster Truck Tour puts out point series consistently, nonstop. Speaking of which, there was an All Star Monster Trucks points shakeup. Haven't got the chance to see where they were last weekend, but listen to this, Dorsey. Kraken currently still has to lead with 395 points, but Rat Attack is right behind with 385. High Tide with 366, Misfire 301, and Lil Miss Madness with 271. How about that, Dorsey? Rat Attack is moving up to second place.
I don't really get how the shakeup works. Do you understand how it works?
Okay, yeah, so I actually looked at it here in just a second. So I noticed something was off because they had a big chunk of points taken away. So this is what the All Star Monster Tour posted out on Instagram. Quote, we drop the lowest 4 overall scores for each truck from now through the end of the championship chase. Why? So that the drivers don't worry about saving parts and going easy on the trucks not to break during the show. Drivers have the ability to go 100%, knowing if they have a bad break, up to 4 times during the season, their bad days get dropped. So this is because whenever a truck ever has like a bad day in terms of points because of breakage, then that gets taken away. So kind of like imagine if you take this weekend with say Tyler Meninga in Gravedigger, whenever he had his engine blown up in Houston, which we'll get to later in a sec. Imagine like that was probably one of his worst performances this year in terms of points, and since he blew his engine, he probably didn't get that many points. That, if it was one of his 4 weakest performances this year, then that would be dropped. And that would be taken away from his points total, as well as like Ryan Anderson, Barry Musauer, like their 4 lowest performances this year, they would be dropped. So that way, maybe points would be closer, some would jump up and jump down. So, what are your thoughts on that, Dorsey?
I'm not a big fan of
unique
it.
way that
I'm not a big fan of it.
you just like straight up just go throughout the entire season. Whatever they earn is what they get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that doesn't seem fair.
yeah. Because if you take a look at the previous point standings, Rat Attack was behind almost by 50 points, and after they did that, he's only behind by 10. Meanwhile, you also have High
Yeah,
Tide Elliot Miller, who was in second place with 553. Some of his weakest performances were taken away. Now he's sitting at third with 366. So it's a I can see both sides of the argument here. So you can see that if you have a bad weekend, then maybe that won't cost you because of this rule coming into play. But at the same time, you have a lot of drivers that are really going out of their way to earn their points just for some of them to be dropped and for them to actually drop in position. So, kind of a unique way how they do points. I don't think any other tour does this, kind of like the All Star Tour, but I think this is the only time they'll actually drop scores. So, we'll see how they do from this point forward. So, now that is it for the independent side for now. Let's get over into the Monster Jam, shall we? So this weekend we had all 5 tours in action. And you know what? Let's start off with the tour that just wrapped up today. And that was Belmont Park, New York, the Monster Jam Freestyle Mania Tour with 5 events this weekend, and one of them was today. Let's take a look at how these Freestyle Mania teams did this weekend. So starting off with Saturday afternoon. Your JCB timed racing winner, as he did timed racing this week, is JCB Digatron. Tony Oaks with a 9.509 time. The Two Wheel Skills Challenge goes to Weston Anderson and Gravedigger in a close margin over El Toro Loco. Freestyle Motocross Best Upright Trick. Oh boy, I'm no Dorsey's ready for this part. All the FMX stuff. Best Upright Trick goes to JCB Digatron and TJ Tiffany. Best Trick winner, here we go. Scott Murray, Megalodon gets the win.
Hell yeah.
Surely this won't be a trend the rest of the week, right? Freestyle winner JCB Digatron gets the win and the overall event championship by a whopping 7 points. So a great start to the weekend for JCB Digatron. Moving on to Saturday night, your winner is once again in racing JCB Digatron. Two Wheel Skills Challenge winner. It's once again Weston Anderson and Gravedigger. The best upright trick for FMX is Noah Bakken in Team Gravedigger. Best trick winner is Megalodon Scott Murray. Freestyle competition goes to Ringling Bailey Circuit and Brianna Mahan. And by 5 points, Team Gravedigger gets the overall event championship. Moving on to Sunday Fun Day, 2 shows today, or on that day. Your JCB Racing winner for Sunday afternoon is JCB Digatron. So look at Tony Oaks going 3 for 3 so far in racing. And going 3 for 3 in skills is Weston Anderson and Gravedigger. And how about Noah Bakken winning another best upright trick? Your best trick winner, once again, Scott Murray and a Megalodon, but a different freestyle winner. El Toro Loco, Fernando Martinez goes loco for those 8 points. But your overall event winner, once again, is Team Gravedigger by 12 points over Team JCB Digatron. What a runaway from that event. Moving on to Sunday night, your JCB Racing winner, once again, JCB Digatron. Tony Oaks, look at him racking up those wins. Two Wheel Skills winner, once again, Gravedigger. Weston Anderson winning 4 straight. Noah Bakken wins another FMX Best Upright Trick competition. And Best Trick goes to Megalodon once again. Will he be able to do it on Monday? We're going to find out soon. Freestyle winner is Weston Anderson and the Gravedigger. And once again, it gets the BKT Overall Event Championship. And, oh, if you forgot there was a show today, there was. On President's Day, Monday afternoon, out of all days to have a show, JCB Racing winner was JCB Digatron. So look at that. Tony Oaks sweeping all the racing competitions. We'll get to that in a sec. And breaking the streak in Two Wheel Skills, Tony Oaks gets it over Weston Anderson and Gravedigger, a close margin. But Gravedigger does get the best upright trick with Noah Bakken, and Megalodon sweeps the best trick yet again. But ending it off in freestyle is JCB Digatron, grabbing that win to wrap up the weekend in Belmont Park. But your overall event winner is Team El Toro Loco, Fernando Martinez and AJ Roseborough getting the win. So, Dorsey, how about this weekend in Freestyle Mania? You have a lot of drivers that have either swept the competitions or have gone on a streak in winning those specific competitions.
Yeah, no, literally, it was just JCB and Gravedigger all weekend long. El Toro made a few appearances for wins, and Bailey Circuit got 1. But I just want to focus something on Monday here. As we were talking about being consistent gets you the overall event championship, El Toro Loco didn't even win anything, not even FMX. He barely got the overall. Meanwhile, Tony Oaks swept the monster truck side. He won all 3 competitions, and they didn't get the overall.
Looking at the FMX, JCB Digatron in Freestyle Motocross Best Upright Trick finished 7th place, and also finished 7th for Best Trick. So TJ Tiffany not performing at his game today, so that played a big factor. But how about Noah Bakken winning 4 of the 5 best upright tricks this weekend? How about that kid?
Yeah, no, Noah Bakken has been really improving lately, especially in the upright trick competition. I think he didn't get I could be wrong, but I don't think he got a win in the first 2 weeks. So he's definitely been improving.
Yeah, and how about the guy who's probably going to have to get a main field invite and a Two Wheel Skills invite at the World Finals? Scott Murray and Megalodon. Are we ever going to see him lose in Best Trick?
nothing against Michaela, but Scott Murray is carrying Team Megalodon on his back. That Team Megalodon, we'll go over points for a second, but Team Megalodon is currently tied with Bailey Circuit in points.
Really? Oh, that's going to be good to talk about whenever we get to the point standings. I didn't even see that.
Also, to be determined because we all love point deductions.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll go over the point standings at the moment, but we know things are probably going to change. We might just have
Yeah,
to do like a mini episode, like Wednesday or Thursday, just for recapping the points after the deductions. But that's
whole
a
5 minute
discussion.
episode.
That's a discussion for another day. So that is Monster Jam Freestyle Mania. Another incredible weekend, this time in Belmont Park. Now let's hand things over to Dorsey because I've been talking a lot. Let's go over to Cleveland, Ohio at the Rocket Arena. This is where Arena Series East set up shop for 4 events this weekend. Dorsey, who came out on top of Arena Series East this weekend?
Once again, Brendan Arthur takes the whale behind Gravedigger. Supposedly, this is probably his last weekend. I'm going to assume Tristan will be back this weekend. But to talk about the results here, Friday evening, we also had time to race in here. Terminal Velocity, John Zimmer Jr. gets the race and win. MJ Solorio gets the two-wheel skills and the freestyle win, but it still wasn't enough by 1 point. John Zimmer Jr. Terminal Velocity gets the overall event championship. Yeah, and El Toro came in fifth in racing, so that didn't help for his overall chances. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, Cody Saucier and Dragon with the racing win. Look at that. 3 drivers under 10 seconds, and John Zimmer Jr. almost under 10. So we had a lot of fast times here. Terminal Velocity, wow, that's insane. Look how close the two-wheel skills challenge was. 3 drivers with an 8.8,
Oh my!
but barely getting the win. John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity, gets the two-wheel skills, the freestyle, and the overall event championship with 21 points once again. So the script didn't change. But moving on to Saturday evening, look at that crazy train. Train Robbins gets the race and win. I almost said Matt Cody. Holy crap. Brandon Arthur gets his first competition win in Gravedigger. So congrats to him getting the win in skills. But the Dragon, Cody Saucier, gets the freestyle win. But look at that. Getting his, I believe that's his 3rd overall event championship this season. Triton Robbins, crazy train, gets it done with 19 points. And now moving on to the final show. Look at that. Already getting wins once again. Crazy Train goes back-to-back in racing. And MJ Solorio with a two-wheel skills win. Terminal Velocity with a freestyle win. But MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco, gets the freestyle win. I didn't really see much of Cleveland, but I do know in the last show, Terminal Velocity had a lot of truck problems, and he didn't compete in the first 2 competitions, and they brought him out just in time for freestyle, and he got the win from in amazing fashion, hitting the mini flip and everything.
Yeah, so imagine if he was healthy, if John Zimmer Jr. had a healthy truck, he might have had a chance to walk away with 3 of the 4 overall event championships that weekend. But still, overall, an incredible week for John Zimmer Jr. as he got the majority of the overalls. But how about Triton Robbins in the Crazy Train? As you mentioned, he got some wins here and there. He got 2 JCB Racing wins this weekend. He also got the overall on Saturday evening. So Triton Robbins making a run once again for the World Finals, either as an LCQ invite or shoot. Oh, I think Mainfield will be a stretch, but LCQ definitely his shot. And if he keeps this up in racing, you think he has a shot to win the whole LCQ, make it to the main field?
He was so close last season. He made it to the, well, of course, it was different because 2 winners happened. He made it to the finals in the lower bracket. So he was only one race win away to making the main field. So I think he's got it. He's definitely has a huge chance of winning it.
Yeah, especially since he's getting more experience in his second full time season of Monster Jam and just getting more reps and definitely just becoming better with the quality of competition he's going up against. I think this year is going to have a shot, but of course, LCQ World Finals, that's a discussion for another day. So that is Arena Series East. Now it is time for Arena Series West. Heading out to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, home of the OKC Thunder at the Paycom Center. 3 events this weekend. For Arena Series West, how do they do this weekend? Let's find out. So starting off with JCB Racing. Now, they actually did bracket style racing. The other 2 series is doing time racing, but this time it's traditional. So your JCB Racing finals on Saturday afternoon, Alex Barden and the Earthshaker defeats Matt Cody and the Gravedigger. Great way to start the weekend for Team Throttle Monster. Moving on to two-wheel skills, Matt Cody does bounce back with a two-wheel skills win in Gravedigger. Your freestyle winner is Armando Castro, and the El Toro Loco gets it done, but Matt Cody walks away with the first overall event championship of the weekend. Moving on to
and his first one, just to mention one thing, his first one this season as well, so congrats to him.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a long time coming for this year, but Matt Cody finally getting that monkey off his back. Moving on to Saturday night, your JCB Racing winner is Blake Granger, back at it again with Monster Mutt Dalmatian, defeating Armando Castro, El Toro Loco in the finals. He would also go on, Blake Granger would move on to win the two-wheel skills challenge and freestyle. So a perfect sweep. It's a clean sweep for Blake Granger, reigning Arena Series champ, reigning World Freestyle champ, sweeping the day on Saturday night. Moving on to Sunday afternoon, it is Earthshaker winning JCB Racing over El Toro Loco. Alex Barden going 2 for 3 in JCB Racing competitions. Your two-wheel skills challenge winner, once again, is Blake Granger and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And your freestyle winner, bouncing back, is Matt Cody and the Gravedigger getting it done, but by 2 points. Your overall event winner, Blake Granger and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So, Blake Granger grabbing 2 of the overalls, Matt Cody grabbing 1. Dorsey, your big takeaways from Arena Series West this weekend in OKC.
Okay. But yeah, shout out to Alex Barden. I can't think of how many. I think he has 6 racing wins now. It could be 5 this season. He's looked really strong in racing. Second best racing record on this tour, and second most racing wins on this tour as well. So he's looking great in that. Blake Granger is just running away with this tour. Besides, well, show 1, unfortunately, he had truck problems with losing round 1 in racing, and then he came in last in the two-wheel skills challenge. You never see that from him. But, yeah, shout out to Matt Cody on his first overall event championship, but I think it's a little bit too late because Blake Granger, he's just going to run away with us.
Yeah, it's been the Blake Granger show so far this year, and it's looking that way as we're just 2 weeks into February. But now that is the Arena Series recap. Now it's time for the Stadium Series, East and West, both in the Lone Star State at Texas. And I'm going to let Dorsey have this one, Arlington, Texas, as they go to Jerry's World, home of the world-famous Dallas Cowboys, at AT&T Stadium for a big one-show weekend. So, Dorsey, who came out on top in North Texas?
Unfortunately, I did not see this show. I didn't see either of the Saturday shows, unfortunately. I did see the Sunday for Houston. But for Saturday, let's start with that green Mayhem truck that ran. The curse has been broken. Chris Kohler, what a season he's had so far. His best season to date already, and we're only in the second week of February. Gets the race and win over Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. Shout out to that green pickup Mayhem truck. Moving on to the JCB Skills Challenge. That's not right. But your winner was JCB Digatron, Tristan England. getting another dual skills win. Not shocking there. But what is this? What a turnaround season for him. He started a bit slow, but now he is getting an overall event championship, and now he's getting a freestyle win. Mike Pagliarulo gets the freestyle win. Hell yeah, that's what we like to see. But the overall event championship goes to Tristan England, Brett Knackley's favorite driver, in the JCB Digatron with 31 points.
Oh man, gotta love it. But what a show it was for the independents. I mean, he mentioned Chris Kohler Mayhem. How about that? He finally broke the green body curse and got himself a JCB Racing win. And then you also have, like you said, Mike Pagliarulo and the Excalibur winning a freestyle competition this year. And going back to Skills Challenge, Mayhem also finished third place in Skills. Didn't do that good in freestyle, but Chris Kohler finally getting some good luck on his side with the green Mayhem body. But just like you, Dorsey, I honestly did not see a whole lot of highlights from this event. But any takeaways that you got regarding the points or the competition this weekend in Arlington?
Yeah, because of course we're going to go over the point standings. Well, to be determined, of course. But all I know is we do have a new leader after this past weekend. Tristan did take the lead, only by a few points, though. But,
that's right. Chris.
Man.
Yeah. Camden Murphy.
Camden Murphy did not have a good showing at all. Unfortunately, only got 18 points, so he needs to get some points back after a little bit of a, I wouldn't say terrible, but not a weekend that Camden Murphy 2026 has had.
Yeah, going back to racing, funny enough, Camden got defeated by JCB Digatron in round 2, and then he would go on. Camden would go on to finish 8th in skills and 6th in freestyle. So a guy who has been consistent in this series has put on some great performances. This week has just been his off week, and it's really hurt him in terms of points. But we'll see if we can pick him up later this year, because there's still a lot of time.
And of course, one more highlight I would like to add is Mike Pagliarulo did get doused in water again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we love Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur. You know the saying, no guts, no glory. And Mike Pagliarulo has all the guts in the world, and he showed it this weekend. But now, it's time to move over to Stadium Series West in Houston, Texas, the home of the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. They were in Houston a few weeks ago for one show. This week, it is a 2-show weekend. So let's take a look at who won the overalls for these events. Moving on to JCB Racing for Saturday night. Your winner is Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, defeating Zach Gardner and the Rod Ryan Show. But your Skills Challenge winner, bouncing back, will be the Rod Ryan Show. And how about that? Also winning freestyle, getting some insane airtime. The Rod Ryan Show gets it done. And also, it is enough to get the overall event championship, just 1 point away from a perfect night. But Zach Gardner gets it done. And moving on to Sunday afternoon, Zach Gardner once again finishes runner-up in the JCB Racing Finals, this time defeated by Tyler Meninga and the Gravedigger. Your Skills Challenge winner, Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl, with an incredible reverse rollover save, whatever you want to call it. In freestyle, how about this madman driving the giant flying skateboard? Bryce Kenny and the Tech Deck Rec Deck gets it done. Pulled an absolute kickflip, whatever you want to call it, off the ski jump. We'll get to that here in just a moment. But staying consistent and sweeping the overalls is Zach Gardner and the Rod Ryan Show. So to recap this weekend, because we've probably gotten some recap. So we've probably seen the action from these events. Let's just start off with Zach Garner and the Rod Ryan show. How about this kid sweeping both the overalls in Houston?
This is insane. I don't think Rod Ryan was screaming at the top of his lungs seeing this, but man, this is probably the like any driver who's ever represented the Rod Ryan show in Houston. This is definitely probably the best performance we have ever seen with this identity. Zach Garner getting both overalls, got a freestyle and a skills win. That right there helped him in points. All right, can't wait to look at the point standings because there was definitely some movement on Stadium West. But yeah, we said earlier that Tyler Menigan blew an engine during round one of racing on the Saturday show. Fortunately, didn't compete for the rest of the event and only got 1 point. But something I do want to add, I don't know if it happened on Saturday, but Sunday's racing was a bit weird. It seemed like where the camera was facing, the further lane, it seemed like a lot of people kept wiping it out at the last turn. And I don't know what was going on, either the dirt or something. But it just seems like everyone was just not getting that last turn correct at all. It was a bit weird. It was always the same lane. It was always the same turn from everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, just everybody just making the same mistake in that turn. Maybe it was something related to driving, or maybe it was just something with the track crew. Who knows? But the freestyle action this weekend was absolutely insane. And actually first, let's touch up on Kayla Blood and Sparkle Smash finishing second place in freestyle on Sunday afternoon. She very much over-rotated her backflip. She had a rough landing on the back of her roll cage, but somehow she was not shut off. She pulled off the save and kept going. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, amazing save from Kayla Blood. Great that she had a good show here on Sunday. Well, freestyle wise, unfortunately she came in last in skills. I didn't even see that. So I guess she started out the show a bit bad and then finished it off strong in freestyle, and it did help her in points a little bit. But yeah.
But it wasn't enough to beat Bryce Kenny and the Tech Deck Reg Deck, who already had a backflip in his run, but also just went to the ski jump and pulled off a complete kickflip move. I mean, when was the last time we saw that?
It was just an insane backflip off the ski ramp, and of course I looked at the comments and I knew right away, right when I clicked on the comments, what everyone was going to say. Is he going to get suspended?
Yeah. Because, a second backflip during the regular season is an illegal move. So
not even that, because he did it off off the ski jump.
Yeah, like Tyler Meninga and Jim Kohler have never done that before.
Yeah.
But that's out of our hands. We'll see what the officials have to do with the points. But an absolutely incredible weekend, and I'm sure that Joel Cockrell has had a lot of great moments reacting to these runs, don't you think?
Oh, he did. That the one when he was reacting to Zach Garner's run with Ryan Anderson next to him, that was the collab we thought we'd never need until now.
You better freestyle, Zach. Better freestyle. Get out of there.
I guess one thing I also want to mention was look how terrible the skills competition was on Saturday. The winner was an 8.1.
Yeah. Jeez,
not
man.
Good.
Yeah, but hey, freestyle made up for it. Both events incredibly action-packed. So a successful weekend for Houston and Monster Jam Stadium Series West. How does that translate into the point standings? Well, let's find out as we now take a look at the updated point standings at the moment for all of the tours, because Dorsey mentioned all the points deductions that usually come out, I believe, on Wednesday is when we're going to get them. But at the moment, this is what the point standings are. So I'll start off with let's start off with the order that we did these events in. So let's do Freestyle Mania Series first, and we'll go from 5 to 1 to recap the top 5. So in 5th place right now, Honestly, you can say both these. I would just say, however, it's read off the Monster Gym website. Fifth place right now is Michaela Telechka, Scott Murray, Megalodon with 359. But, as Dorsey mentioned, tied for fourth place, Brianna Mahan and Greg Duffy, Bailey Circuit with 359. Tony Oaks, TJ Tiffany, JCB Digatron in third with 437. Fernando Martinez, AJ Roseboro, El Toro Loco with 454. And Weston Anderson, Noah Bach, and Team Gravedigger with 491. So, slowly but surely, Team Gravedigger has began to not say run away with the series, but is starting to get a bigger lead because earlier at the beginning, you had a few different leaders, and then Weston got it, and he's not had the lead by much. So you think at this chance, Dorsey, you might see somebody try to take over Weston Anderson, or is this Gravedigger's championship to lose?
Unfortunately, I don't think. I think Watson's just going to run away with this. Of course, he's what is it? So he debuted in 2022. So he's won 4 arena championships in a row. This is his 5th season, and I just think he's just going to win his 5th one in a row. There's no doubt about it. Even like I've even kept track of points without the FMX drivers, and he's still like around the same, like 30 points ahead of Fernando. But man, Austin Anderson still proving that he should be in the stadiums next year.
All right. Before we move on to the point standings and hand it off to you, Dorsey, I got a task for you. So, can you take the points for Megalodon and tabulate how many of those points were because of Scott Murray? In all of the best trick competitions he has won. Because I got to know how much of that chunk is just from Scott Murray. I'm sure it's quite a bit. So
I can. So if on my screen right now, because of course I'm recording for the YouTube show, I have all my my stats over here. I'm on the 2026 page right now. So if I go to, I still have it called Arena Central, but now it's called the Freestyle Mania Tour. I have the points right here without FMX. And Michaela has 133 points. That is how much she's collected. So if we subtract 133 from their total right now, that's how much Scott Murray has. So what would that be on the top of your head?
359 minus 133. I got to pull out the calculator because I am not good at that kind of complex math. So that would be 226 points by Scott Murray. Why?
So Scott Murray has 226 points of the 359 of Team Megalodon.
That is absolutely insane.
I think something else to mention is I feel so bad for Brandon Telechka. I'm not shading his FMX driver, but he still doesn't have a win yet. And if we count in points without the FMX, Brandon is only 7 points behind 4th place, behind Brianna Mahan.
Jeez.
Wow. Brandon has 222 points of the 305.
Yeah, so when we said before the season that FMX were going to shake up points, well, they have.
Oh, it did.
It is in full effect. And you know what? I'm all in for it. Michaela Telechka, Megalodon in 4th place. I'm all in for it. But it's still a long ways to go for Arena Series Central or the Freestyle Mania Series. Now we'll send it over to Dorsey to recap the Arena Series points for now. Dorsey, who are in the points from 5 to 1?
For Arena East?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what we did next, yeah. So right now, 5th place, Cody Saucier and Dragon with 240. In 4th place, unfortunately, he didn't really have a good weekend. He only got 39 points this past weekend. John Zimmer and Megalodon drops to 4th place, only 2 points ahead of Cody now with 242. Triton Robbins with a huge weekend jumps up to 3rd place, 264. MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco, sits in 2nd with 334, but 16 points ahead of him. John Zimmer Jr. still leading the points with 350.
Yeah, Team Gravedigger, 7th place right now in the point standings, and still probably going to get an
I'll give Brandon
invite.
Arthur credit. I'll give Brandon Arthur credit. He got second this past weekend with points. He was that consistent, and he brought the Gravedigger truck up closer to playing crazy right now.
Oh,
It was looking a
okay.
lot worse.
Yeah, but then here comes Kristen Anderson again. She's probably still going to get a World Finals invite despite how low she is in points. Meanwhile, you have MJ, Triton, John Zimmer absolutely killing it up there in the points. Well, I'm really interested in seeing how close that gap can get because MJ Solorio is only 16 points behind Terminal Velocity, so that'll be a battle to look out for. Then you also
Yeah,
have fourth and fifth between John Zimmer and Cody Saucier, so that should be very interesting as well. And of course, looking forward to seeing how Triton Robbins can do now that he is in third place in standings. So now we move over to Arena Series West and take a look at your points for that. So in fifth place, Alex Barden in Earthshaker stays in that spot with 322 points. Fourth place is Matt Cody in Gravedigger with 397. And as a matter of fact, he's tied for third with Tim Hall Jr. Jurassic Attack with 397. Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, second place with 458. And number one, Blake
oh
Granger,
man.
Monster Mutt Dalmatian, with 508 points. He has a 50-point lead over Armando Castro, which is the biggest points margin right now in the Arena Series, and probably out of all these series, this is the biggest margin right now. So, like we said, Dorzy, this might be the Blake Granger show all the way until Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I saw a stat from someone in another Instagram group chat is that Blake has more overall event championships than all the Gravedigger drivers combined. That has to be a first. That's insane.
That is incredible. And kudos to that guy who tabulated all of those stats because that is insane. And 5 Gravedigger drivers this year, and Blake Granger has more overall event championships than all those combined. That is.
Shout out
Abs-
to just to keep adding to Arena West. Sorry to interrupt you. I thought you were done, but Tim Hall Jr. unfortunately didn't have a good weekend. Now he's tied for third. He had a little bit of a point cushion against Matt, but Matt Cody had a pretty solid weekend with his first overall event championship. So now he's technically moved up to tie for third now, but we got a nice points battle here between third and fourth here.
yeah, that is going to be interesting to see. Can Tim Hall Jr. finish the season maybe at a third place finish or maybe work his way up to second? Or will Matt Cody be able to climb his way back up there? We'll have to find out as the season develops. Now I'm going to toss it back over to you to recap Stadium Series East standings after this weekend in Arlington, Texas. Who is in the points from 5 to 1?
Man, I hope there's no point deductions because look how close this is. Chris Kohler currently fifth with 180 points. Only 4 points ahead of him, though. Adam Anderson, Gravedigger with 184, and then only 1 point ahead of him. Look at this. Colt Stevens having a season. 185.
Yes.
Great to see him do well. And then second place, fortunately, drops a position after having a pretty bad weekend in Arlington. Classic Crusher, Camden Murphy with 111. And in first place, Brett's favorite driver, Tristan England,
It's
JCB
monster
Diggertron.
time.
It's a monster truck, JCB Diggertron, 214 points. Tristan looking to go back to back, and he took the lead once again, unless, point deductions. Yay.
Yeah, and while that performance by Camden Murphy really did damage him in points, losing the lead, he is still close in that margin, only 3 points behind. So we got a points battle now. Tristan England and Camden Murphy, as well as several others in the top 5. And how about the guys at the bottom? Because they're separated by 7 points. Joe Foley, Matt Pagliarulo,
Yeah.
Jim Kohler, and Kevin Crocker separated by 7.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, Jim and Matt unfortunately didn't have a good show in Arlington. Jim didn't compete in the 2 Wheel Skills Challenge, so that hurt him quite a bit. Kevin Crocker got a little bit more than them, so that's why he's tied now with Jim. And Joel Foley, who was in last, is now up to ninth. So shout out to Joel Foley moving up a few spots here in El Toro Loco.
Yeah, so he's definitely taking advantage. He's jumping up a few spots in the point standings. So close battle all around for Stadium Series East. And now we wrap it up with Stadium Series West. How the points look after the 2-show weekend in Houston. Well, starting off in 5th place, he's dropped a few spots. Well, I think he's only dropped one spot. Dalton Weiner and Shell Shocked with 235 points. And yeah, only dropping by 1 point because in 4th it's Zach Garner and Wild Side / The Rod Ryan Show with 236 points. Staying in 3rd is Bari Musauer and the Zombie with 248. And your top 2 in points right now. 2nd place, Tyler Meninga and the Gravedigger with 280. And Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, 284. And another thing, Dorsey, if it wasn't for that blown engine on Saturday afternoon, Tyler would probably be in the point series right now.
Oh, he definitely would. Like, even the Sunday show, Ryan didn't have a good showing at all either. He only got 13 points that show. So Tyler would definitely be leading right now if he didn't blow that engine in round 1 of racing. But another thing to mention is that Zach Garner and Dalton Widener and Bryce Kenny, the 3 of them right now, are getting closer to Bari. Bari was pretty much a no-show in Houston this past weekend. He didn't do too well with points, so between 3rd and 6th right now, it's only 22 points, so that's going to be a close battle coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be a point series to watch all the way to the end, and a lot of, I think Bryce Kenny mentioned it on the Gears and Nachos episode, they only have about 3 2-show weekends left, if I remember correctly, and one of them is this weekend in Anaheim, California, and maybe 2 more after that, because once it gets into late March or April, that's when they only have 1-show weekends, and that includes Nashville, Nissan Stadium, Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado, Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium. So they have a lot. I think maybe, I know recently Pittsburgh was announced. Is that Stadium Series West or East? Let's take a look here.
That is West.
That is West as well. So and it's in June, which is 2 weeks before World Finals. Now, this could be a 2023 scenario, as if y'all remember, there was a Monster Jam event in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Cleveland Brown Stadium, which had the Stadium Series East lineup, or actually, I don't think it was known by Coast yet. It was still known by Colors. So it is the Stadium Series red lineup, but it wasn't an actual points event. It was just an exhibition event. So I wonder if this is kind of the same scenario as well. There's no asterisk with it right now, but if this is like an official point series event, then geez, having to wait all the way until late June to have a points champion crown, that would be a first.
Yeah, unless someone clinches it.
Yeah, that's right. Someone clinches it at Denver, Colorado, May 9th, and they have to wait all the way until June 20th to actually be crowned the champion. That would be quite a sight to see. But more details on that later on this year. But that is your Truck Jam recap from this past weekend. Now we look forward to all the events that are going to be happening this weekend, as we are now into the 3rd full week of February. And let's start it off with, I can't believe they don't have this on the Google Doc or the Google Sheets, but Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's go. Coming back to the Food City Center. 4th year in a row, Hot Wheels is coming back home to Knoxville. I will be present at 2 events this weekend. The one on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. So looking forward to some Hot Wheels car crushing carnage and a stoppie from Devin Wheeler and Scalosaurus. And then Hot Wheels Also, will be in Edinburgh, Texas, at the Berg Odin Arena, the first place that Hot Wheels Live ever went to. So that'll be a nice homecoming for them. Now, moving on to the Monster X Tour. Two events this weekend, one on the East Coast in Springfield, Illinois. You have Paul Craighead and the Barefoot, Rod Schmidt and Barely Tame, Brandon Schmidt and Monster Patrol to be announced driver in USA 1, and Stanley Hernandez driving Werewolf. They will also be at Redmond, Oregon, a trademark stop for them at the First Interstate Bank Center. Only one announced driver at the moment, and that is Gerard Compton driving Anubis. The other trucks that'll be in the show as of now are Barefoot, Boss Skater, Lone Wolf, and USA 1. So that's what the Monster X Tour is doing this weekend. And now we move on to Monster Truck Wars. To be announced drivers for all these events, they will be at Lexington, Kentucky at Alltech Arena and at Kenansville, North Carolina at the Dublin Event Center. You're also going to have Monster Trucks Maniac in action once again, this time in Pine Bluff, Arkansas at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. And this has got Crazy Heifer with Lexi Overman, Evil Leprechaun with Thomas Kimmons. You also have Fire Hazard, driven by Sean Roth, King Crunch, Dylan Finley, and Nitro Hornet with Richie Yasko. The return of the Monster Truck Insanity Next Level Tour at Ada, Oklahoma, at the Pontotoc County Agripply. I didn't even see the rest of that venue there, but your lineup consists of American Scout, Colton Kaiser, Pouncer, Alan Pizzo, the truck of all time, Predator, Brandon Pizzo, Public Nuisance with Corey Labie, and Raminator with Dan Agosh behind the wheel. And then the 2X Live Tour will be in action at Santa Maria, California, at the Santa Maria Fair Park with Bounty Hunter Jimmy Cretin, Brutal with Austin Manton, Jekyll and Hyde, Corey Kinel, Ron Rex, Mike Nugent, and Dan the Man Dahlgren and Sharkbite.
Dahlgren.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love him on the 2 Extreme Tour. You also have MAP Motorsports with their first events this weekend. Let's talk about this lineup for a bit. At Odessa, Texas, the Ector County Coliseum, Bad Decision, Alec White, Nightlife, Aaron Basil, Smashosaurus, Trip Jones, Tailgater, Tim Jones, War Wizard, RJ Turner, and how about this, Dorsey? Wildside with the Metal Shop.
With Zach
Jordan.
Garner?
No, Jordan Fisher making his debut behind the wheel of Wildside on a Metal Shop team truck. How about that?
I don't think anyone had this on their 2026 list. Definitely not me. Man, this is going to be an awesome show in here for Jordan Fisher. Behind the wheel of Wildside. Congrats to him. Representing Team Overboard here in Odessa, Texas here. I think he's going to have one hell of a show.
Yeah, this was not on my bingo card at all, but love to see it. Just love seeing something different in the monster truck industry with these drivers and these truck names. So can't wait to see how Jordan Fisher does his first time behind the wheel of Wildside. But going on, the Monsters of Destruction are back this weekend.
There's something I got to add for this lineup, because there's something a bit confusing here with this lineup. And I don't know if you noticed right away. Do you notice anything with this lineup?
I'm a dummy to this one. Tell me.
So there's 3 drivers on here that is stated to drive in a Monster Jam show in Raleigh.
Oh, that is right. Oh, that's right.
So I don't get what. So I'm gonna assume that 3 of these drivers here aren't gonna be at this show, or they are. I don't know. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah, we'll get into that special event here and very soon. But right now, Monsters of Destruction return this weekend at one of their key destinations, DeCoin, Illinois, at the DeCoin State Center, with Black Stallion, Mike Vaughters. Hurricane Force, Stephen Thompson. Overkill Evolution with Mikey Vaughters, presumably. Ramdemption, Kurt Kramer, and Raminator with Mark Hall. So gotta love the Hall brothers back in action this weekend. Also, Motorsports Spectacular at Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, at the SaskTel Center with the Straight Up Racing Team. Elbows Up Joe Briggs, Identity Theft Marvin Anderson, Mixed Up Gavin Sell, Rockstar Bill Payne, and Spitfire Dallas Rogers, alongside Crude Behavior with Jared Vogel and Roughneck with Jason Court. The All-Stars will be back in action this weekend at Savannah, Georgia at the Coastal Empire Fair, looking to see if Nick Pagliarulo can hold on to his points lead or if somebody like Jacob Ladwig or Elliot Miller can gain some points, gain some ground, and get to that points lead of Nick Pagliarulo. Also this weekend, it's going to be, what is this? Monster Nation. Oh yes, Monster Nation at Beaumont, Texas. An always anticipated arena show at the Doggett Ford Park. And this is your toughest lineup with Blockhead Darren Basil, Dirt Crew Jerry Beck, Dozer with Too Tall David Olfert, Jurassic Attack Preston Collins, Maximus Jared Smith, and Velociraptor Press Perez. That event always has some hype, so looking forward to seeing how the Monsters can do in Beaumont this year. But now, here is the fun part. And oh my gosh. Wait, okay, am I looking at this right? Okay, no. There's 6 Monster Jam events this weekend. Somehow they had Belmont Park listed, but that's already happened. But yeah, 6 events this weekend. But no, it's not 5 domestic tours and 1 international tour.
They're counting they're counting the Monday show as this week.
Yep. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But 6 locations for Monster Jam all in the U.S. And you know what? Let's go ahead and start our top 3 with this one. Raleigh, North Carolina, the Lenovo Center. When this event was announced, nobody had a clue what this event was going to be about. But this lineup is going to be absolute cinema. Let's go through it. El Toro Loco, Ryan Vargas, Charlie Pauken behind the wheel of Gravedigger, JCB Digatron, Brandon Arthur, Megalodon, Mikey Vaughters, Ramdemption, and Raminator are scheduled for this event. Kirk Kramer and Mark Hall. So something's definitely going to change with the MOD event this weekend. Sparkle Smash, Chelsea Van Cleve, and ladies and gents, he's back. Joe Dennis behind the wheel of Zombie. So let's flip and go. Dorsey, what is your initial thoughts of this lineup before we go into our top 3 picks?
You just love to see it. I miss having shows like this where I look at the lineup and it's something that you just did not expect at all. Something completely random out of left field. I wish I was going to this event. Unfortunately, I'm not driving all the way to North Carolina. But man, when this is some fantasy show book, and I'll tell you that.
This is a cracked lineup, and cracked, I mean drugs. I mean, you look at this event, you have veterans, rookies, rising stars, and Hall brothers. Like that is the lineup this weekend. I'm going to let you start with it, Dorsey. Who are your top 3 drivers for this weekend in Raleigh?
And something to add, 2 World Finals freestyle champions in this show as well.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and start my predictions here. I'm going to start off with the Chucky Dance. Charlie Pauken and Gravedigger will be in the top 3, 100%. This is his, oh my God, how long now has it been? This is his first U.S. show since what, the World Finals in 2022?
Oh, man. Well,
I don't even know.
Well, I got to see him in Birmingham a few years ago in 2024, but
oh, that's right.
He
filled in a few times.
Yeah, but other than that, I think that honestly might have been it.
he he filled in Lucas Stabilizer for a show. He filled in for El Toro for a couple shows too, but I think it was like in 2023. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Charlie Park and Gravedigger. I'm gonna go with Brandon Arthur and JCB Digatron. So I guess that's kind of alluding that he won't be in Gravedigger this upcoming weekend. And for my third pick, why not Mikey Vauders Jr. and Megalodon? I'm gonna go with him. Supposedly he's gonna be at this show, so I'm gonna go with Mike Vauders the second and Megalodon as my top three.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. First two, I'll go with the same. Gravedigger Charlie Plotkin and Digatron with Brandon Arthur. For my third pick, for all the goats out there, Kurt Kramer and Ram Demption. He has been looking forward to coming back in the Monster Jam. He is back and better than ever. So looking to see the big bad Red Ram take some wins this weekend. No, I am not crazy. That's what's going to happen, folks. You're just going to have to live with it. Moving on to
What a weird schedule. So there's a show Saturday and then two Sunday.
oh really? Wait,
That's
wait, wait.
weird.
I got to see this
All
for
right.
myself. So moving on. So Raleigh, North Carolina, February 21st and 22nd. Are they seriously going to do that? Yeah, yeah, they are. I don't know how I feel about that. You have the Saturday night show at 7, a show on Sunday at 1, and the second one at 6:30. Are we for real? You just never know what Monster
Sure.
Jams. You never know what they're going to do. And it showed up. They showed today with Belmont Park, and now they're going to do a kind of similar thing with Raleigh. But now we're moving on to the Freestyle Mania series at Buffalo, New York, the Key Bank Center. My top three for this weekend: Weston Anderson, Gravedigger, because yes, Black and Green Wrecking Machine. Tony Oaks and the JCB Digatron. And this week, you know what? Scott Murray, Megalodon.
I did the same thing last week.
Just wrap up. Just wrap up like 4 more best trick wins for Scott Murray. Just put it down.
So I'm gonna go with Weston Anderson and Gravedigger. I'm gonna go with. Did you go with Tony and JCB? I don't remember what your second pick was.
I did, Tony, for my second one.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna go with the exact same three: Tony Oaks and JCB and Scott Murray and Megalodon. Thank you.
It is just Scott Murray representing Megalodon on that series. Oh man. Moving on to Arena Series East in Allentown, Pennsylvania at the PPL Center. So some great action that the Allentown Monster Jam fans are looking forward to. And we'll go back to Dorsey on this one. Who are your top 3 drivers for Arena East this weekend?
Oh god, it's so boring. Okay, I'm gonna go with Terminal Velocity and El Toro Loco as my first 2 picks, of course. And you know what? Supposedly she's coming back, so I'm gonna go with Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. She took 2 weeks off with some type of sickness, so hopefully she's back and ready for action. And I think she's gonna go strong with her return. So, because she's definitely improved with skills and everything. Oh man, they have a 5-show weekend. Yeah, so I'll go with Kristen and Gravedigger as my third pick.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Those 5-show weekends, honestly, I don't know how the drivers are able to physically and mentally keep up with all that. But they're going to have to do it again this week in Allentown. And for my drivers, obviously got to go with the top driver in points, John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity.
Tyler Menega.
Heck yeah, Tyler Meninga stepping in for Arena East. And John Zimmer Jr., first one. And then MJ Soloria, El Toro Loco. And third one, you know what?
Come on, ride the train.
Come on, ride the train and ride it. Yeah, I'm going to go with Crazy Train and Triton Robbins as my third driver. So that is the arena events and the arena, or actually, no, we still got Wichita, Kansas. How can we forget about Arena Series West? February
Yeah,
21st and
I'll just pick Blake
22nd.
Granger. Thank you.
At the Interest Bank Arena, Blake Granger, yes, and just to throw it out there, Armando Castro, Tim Hall Jr. That's it.
Yeah, I'll just do the same three. Thank you.
Moved very quickly through that one. So that
All right,
is
perfect. Thank you, Wichita.
that is your arena series and arena picks, and now we're going to move on to the stadium series as February 21st and 22nd at Lone Depot Park. That is where a Stadium Series East is going to be in Miami, Florida. Gotta love it. The Will Smith songs, the Pitbull songs about Miami. Gotta love it. My top three drivers for this one, I'm going to go with the top two in points. Tristan England, JCB Digatron, and Cannon Murphy, Classman Crusher. He's going to need some momentum heading into this weekend after losing that point series. And for my third driver, why not throw the black and green wrecking machine out there? Adam Anderson going to tear it up once again in Anaheim. Dorsey, you going to say the same or you got a different route?
No, I'm going to go on a different route here, and I'm going to go with first. The same two, Tristan England and Camden Murphy, the top two in points. But I'm going to go with something somewhat a bit different here. They're in Florida. And you know what? The Pagliarulos are from Florida. So let me get Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur again, top three in points here. He's had amazing 2 weekends. I think it's just going to keep going up from here.
Yeah, Mike Pagliarulo just continues to just surprise everybody. By the way, he is driving on his series in the Excalibur monster truck. You know, he's had some learning curve as well, but he's really taking those learning experiences to his advantage to improve his driving skill and his product on the track. So now we move over to Anaheim, California for the third
Yay.
time this year because Anaheim needs all the shows at Angel Stadium in February 21st, 22nd. And this weekend, Dorsey, coming back to you, who are your top three for round 3 in Anaheim, California?
Well, first, I'm not going to go with Bryce Kenny because he's going to get suspended. No, kidding. I'm going to go with see, now this one's tough now because anything could happen with Tyler's engine in round 1 of racing. Ryan Anderson was a no-show in Sunday. So, man, this last weekend has definitely got me thinking here. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with Cole Vernard and Black Pearl for one of my picks. He looked really good in Houston this past weekend. So I think he's got his truck settled, and I think he's going to have a solid weekend. Then I'm going to go with Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked. Yeah, that's right. I'm going with 2 independents there because I'm a boss. Knoxville man, Dalton Widener, Shell Shocked. Lost the position, so I think he's going to drive even harder now. And for my last pick, I'll just go with Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, for a safe pick for my top 3.
Yeah, for my top 3, I'd also go with the top 2 right now, Ryan Anderson and Tyler Meninga, son of a digger and grave digger. But for my third pick, cue the Motley Crew, because I got Zach Garner and Wildside getting in the top 3 this weekend. After seeing how he did in Houston, I just don't see him letting off the gas. I think he's going to keep the ball rolling with Wildside this weekend. So Tyler, Ryan, Zach, that is my top 3 for this weekend. Overall, should be some incredible action this weekend, especially at this event that has absolutely no points indication whatsoever at Raleigh, North Carolina. So I think, Dorsey, the best way to end off this show is to kind of create our own fantasy arena lineup or a fantasy stadium lineup, whichever one you want to prefer, because I guess here in Monster Jam, you just never know what's going to happen, especially in terms of putting events together and whatever lineups to put together. So let's do this, Dorsey. Let's create our mock, I want to say just mock event, like pick a stadium. What is the first stadium that comes to your mind? Or
Gillette.
Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Let's do it. So 12 truck lineup. So the rule. So actually, no. The rule typically
But
is you
let's
got
keep
to
it the
have.
same. Six independents and six company, right? We're gonna do the
Yeah,
same.
six Feld, six independent. Let's do it. So let's take some turns picking a Feld truck and an independent truck. Uh, you go first. Who would be the first Feld truck and Feld driver they would pick for this event in Foxborough?
Now my only question is, we're doing drivers that are driving now.
Yes.
Can we pick a driver that drove a truck before, or do they have
Yes.
to be driving that truck now?
Either one. Go crazy. Just like they're doing with this event
Because
here.
my first pick was going to be Charlie Plotkin and Monster Mutt.
Oh, yes. Yes, that needs to happen again. I mean, Charlie Plotkin is known for driving Gravedigger, but also for driving Monster Mutt in the World Finals. So why not throw back the 2022 memories when he was driving Monster Mutt full time? So Charlie Plotkin, Monster Mutt, first one for this lineup. Actually, I kind of feel like writing down some notes for this, a hypothetical lineup here in Foxborough. So the first one would be Charlie Plotkin and Monster Mutt. My driver. Man, who would I pick? You know what? I'm just going to look on this lineup here, on all these drivers, and just pick a random truck. Let's go. Let's see. Ryan Anderson, the Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, bring back bring back the Marvel trucks. Ryan Anderson, hey, since one of his first trucks he drove was Spider-Man, why not? Ryan Anderson, the Amazing Spider-Man, because yes, hey, if he can drive Bakugan Dragonoid, he can drive Spider-Man. How about you? What's your next one?
My third Feld pick, I want to bring back Max D with Blake Granger in the stadium lineup.
Yes. That needs to happen.
I would say Tom, but he's retired now, so I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to pick Blake Granger, but with the return of Max D.
So that is 3 right now, 9 more to go. This is going to be an hour and a half long podcast, but hey, it's worth it. It's fun. We're experimenting here. Fourth driver. Let's see. Actually, Mikey Vaughters, he's got this thing where he's driving for Overkill and also when he's driving for Feld. Let's go Mikey Vaughters, Blue Thunder. Let's make it happen. Let's bring back the Blue Thunder and let's have Mikey Vaughters behind the wheel. Honestly, the way that Overkill Evolution looked at times, the way it chromed, it kind of does remind me of how Blue Thunder is schemed. So I think it fit well, Mikey Vaughters and Blue Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, the Vaughters camp used to have the Blue Thunder identity when they drove in the Triple Threat Series with Matt Cody, so I think that's a perfect fit.
All right. Next Feld driver. Who do you got?
You know what? I'm going to add some girl power in here. She's been put in the arena for the last 4 seasons, and I want her back in the stadium.
I think I know what you're going to say
Brianna
here.
Mahan.
Yep.
But with the return of Whiplash, the truck that she made on her own, that identity.
Yes. Make it happen, Feld. Bring back Whiplash, because that is Brianna's name. That is her truck. Would love to see that coming back in Monster Jam. And, of course, in all Monster Jam events, you got to have a Gravedigger in there. And, shoot, who would be an interesting pick for Gravedigger?
I know who I would pick.
Who would you go with? Because I'm still thinking.
I would like to hear your thought first.
Well,
but I
Okay,
know who I would go with.
this guy, he has driven Gravedigger before. Um, Cody Saucier.
Okay.
Cody Saucier
Okay.
in Gravedigger.
Okay. Not. See, I was actually thinking of Gravedigger drivers. I wasn't thinking about some random person like Cody.
Who would you
But you know
go
what?
with?
Screw it.
Cody
See,
Saucier.
I was gonna go with Weston.
Um, I was also thinking of another former Gravedigger driver, Barry Musauer. Anyways, moving on to the independent side of things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Actually, let's just pick out whatever independent team we would like because there's a lot. Team Scream, Overboard, Team Throttle Monster, Telechkas. Who would your two teams be?
See, I would go with Team Scream. Not all four. I would do two of them.
Okay.
I would pick Jim and Chris.
Jim Kohler and Chris Kohler. Okay. How about
And of course, in their trucks.
Avenger and Mayhem? Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Why not for Chris? Bring back Wrecking Crew. Because we haven't seen
Okay.
Wrecking Crew in a while
Or
in
one-
Monster Jam.
Or apparently, it's returning this year.
Oh, in Monster Jam?
No,
Or just on the independent side?
independent side.
Okay. So I can't wait to see for that. And Avenger, let's give it a paint scheme that has ran before. How about World Finals 12? The winning Avenger paint scheme, World Finals 12.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it, man. So that's your first two independents. Why don't we throw some Team Throttle Monster in there? Let's do Dalton Weiner and just put him back in Jurassic Attack. Because we need to hear Cult of
Ooh.
Personality again.
Okay.
We need
I was
to hear
thinking
that.
of something else.
What were you thinking of? And I'll put it down here on the list.
I was thinking Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack, and then Dalton and something else.
You know what? Why don't we just put two Jurassic Attacks in the same event?
Oh my god.
Hey, they have
Hey,
their
they
own
have
paint
different theme songs. It's fine.
They have their own
Yeah,
paint
yeah.
scheme. They have. Hey, if we can have two El Toro
They're both
Locos,
painters.
if we can have two El Toro Locos in the same event with different colors, different themes, Jacksonville 2014, then we can have two different Jurassic Attacks in the same scenario.
You know what? I wouldn't even be upset with two Jurassic Attacks with Tim and Dalton with two different paint schemes and two different theme songs. Hell yeah.
I would absolutely love it. So, should we put an El Toro Loco and Megalodon at the end because you got to have those for
No.
merchandise? Nah, let's leave them out of there.
They didn't even okay. Just to say something, they didn't even have a Megalodon in the Fall Stadium series, which is insane.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
you know what? No,
Yeah,
no, we don't need it.
we don't care about that shark truck. Let's.
See, what I was thinking for the last two picks, it has to be the Zimmers.
Yes. Well, actually, I was thinking of one of them being another driver for Sendin Motorsports. Why not Chucky Pawkin
We'll put Chucky Pawkin.
In-
Oh, you know what?
in the Haymaker? The true Haymaker. Why not? Monster Jam debut for Haymaker.
And then John Zimmer Jr. in Sparkle Smash.
Yes, we're going to put that down here.
No,
Oh no, John Zimmer Jr. Should we bring back the second edition of Amazoil Shock Therapy?
that'd be cool.
So, this is the lineup for a hypothetical event in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The show
That
that
would
Dorsey
never
would
happen.
absolutely go to. You get to see Charlie Pocket and Monster Mutt, Ryan Anderson Spider Man, Blake Granger Max D, Mikey Waters Blue Thunder, Brianna Mahan Whiplash, Cody Saucier and Gravedigger, Jim Kohler and Avenger World Finals 12, Chris Kohler and Wrecking Crew, Dalton Weiner, Jurassic Attack Green, Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack Blue, Charlie Pocket in the Haymaker, and John Zimmer Jr. in Amazoil Shock Therapy. Would that be the most cinematic lineup or what?
I like how you said Charlie Pocket twice, and you didn't even say Charlie Pocket the third, so it made it sound like he's driving both the Haymaker and Monster Mutt.
Oh, my bad. Chucky Pocken is driving the Haymaker for Sendin Motorsports. There's multiple Jurassic Attacks. There's multiple Pockens, multiple colors. You would go to the pit party, main event, and post-show meet and greet for this. You would go for the whole thing. Just shut up and take my money. Well, we got to go to film. We got to make sure this event happens just so you can see it.
Oh yeah, it will definitely happen.
Yeah, but that is going to be an event for another day. Ladies and gents, thank you for joining us for quite an eventful edition of Off the Track. A lot of serious and unserious monster truck discussion. Looking forward to seeing how the action goes this weekend as the season continues to develop. For Door Z, I am Nofagen. Thank you for joining us. This is Off the Track.
Hold up. Let him